Hey guys, it's Venom here with a second video to my Cardfight Vanguard, the tutorial series. If you haven't checked out my first video yet, do not watch this video. This video is kind of moving on from the last video. So if you want to learn about Cardfight Vanguard, go start on the first video, please. It'll help you understand it much more. But anyways, today's subject is the trigger units and how they work. I meant to cover this in the first video, but I left it out because of time reasons and because I kind of forgot about it. So let's go ahead and jump into the trigger units. There are 4 types of trigger units. I only run 3 in my deck, so therefore I only have 3 laid out for you guys today. But there are 4 different types of triggers. There's the hill trigger, there's the stand trigger, there's the draw trigger, and there's the critical trigger. I'm going to go through what each one does. First up is the hill trigger. Now, trigger units have this ability. Whenever you're drive checking or damage checking, as you saw in the last video, you simply flip the top card of your deck over. And if it is a trigger unit, you do what it does. The hill trigger allows you, if you have greater than or equal to the number of damage as your opponent, in other words, you're losing, you can take one of your damages from your damage zone and place them into the drop zone. And then this either goes to your hand or in your damage zone, depending on if it was the drive check or the damage check. And all trigger units have this universal ability to give one of your units plus 5,000. So that is what the hill trigger does. The draw trigger, which I do not have laid out for you guys because I don't run it personally, you flip over the top card of your deck, and if it is your draw trigger, you give plus 5,000 to one of your units, and you simply draw the next card into your hand. The next trigger unit is the stand trigger. The stand trigger, whenever you flip it up off the top of your deck for a damage or drive check, you simply add 5,000 attack to one of your units and stand one of your rear guards. You cannot stand your Vanguard. Your Vanguard, once he is rested, he stays rested unless an ability specifically says stand your Vanguard, or if its own ability says stand itself. And the last of the trigger units is the critical trigger unit. The critical is by far probably one of the best ones out there. Hill's pretty important, but you can only run 4 of them, so the critical trigger, whenever it's flipped face up, you simply add 5,000 to one of your Vanguard / rear guards, and it also gives it a critical, which when you look at this star, there's like a little asterisk star looking thing, yellow, and 1 or 2 or 3. I'm pretty sure all the Vanguard cards at the moment currently only have 1. That is how much damage they deal whenever they hit your opponent's Vanguard. Now, what the critical does is it simply raises that number by 1 until the end of the turn. So basically, whenever they deal damage, they would deal 2 or 3 if there's 2 criticals added to them. So that's what the critical triggers do. Now, the basics of building a deck for the trigger units is that you can only, you have to run 16 triggers, you cannot run any more triggers, and you cannot run any less triggers. It's to make the game as balanced as possible so everybody's having the same amount of odds to get the same amount of stuff. Now, the only other rule to the triggers is that you can only run 4 hill triggers. All hill triggers say you may only have up to 4 cards with hill in a deck. And that's to make it so where you can't just, it's kind of like a Monster Reborn and Dark Hole in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's basically you top deck the card and it could potentially win you the game. Even with 4, you could potentially win the game for it. So you're allowed to run your 4 hills, and then you're allowed to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 other triggers. Now, I personally run 8 criticals and 4 stands, but most of the structure decks, unless they're focused on something, will generally come with 4 crits, 4 draws, 4 stands, and 4 hills. Alright, if you guys enjoyed the video, please rate, comment, subscribe. Please go check out some of my other videos. And coming up soon will be the deck profile on my current Kagero deck. And for those of you who like me for my Yu-Gi-Oh!, there will be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile posted up in the next few days. I'm going to a local tournament tomorrow night, and I plan on either taking Blackwings or Inzectors. Comment down below which one you would rather see me take, and if I can get enough votes before then, I might actually choose to run one or the other, or the one that's voted for the most. But right now I'm leaning more towards Blackwings, because I feel like they can actually do something. Now, also remember that my meta is probably going to be mostly people who just pick up 40 cards from their bedroom and say, I'm running this as a deck. So their decks are not going to be that good, and I should be able to win. If I don't, it's because they got lucky, or something weird. Of course, there are the exceptions. There's 3 or 4 guys there who are competitive like me, and there's also 3 or 4 guys who aren't competitive. So, please go check out my other Vanguard videos. I'm gonna have more up in the future. This is it for episode 2, and all about trigger units. And if you still don't understand about trigger units, let me know in the comments below, and I will try to explain it more in depth is what I meant to say. But anyways, rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my other videos.